Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this episode, we're going to take you guys around Disney Springs. It's kind of a night out for us after work, so I'll keep it short and sweet, but we'll take you around with us. So here is Jock Lindsey's Hangar Bar. And if you've never been to Disney Springs before, it's a great place to grab a drink. You got this great view over the water. And usually there's plenty of seating. Most Disney Springs places do fill up on certain weekends, but there is a lot of seating. Then if it's full when you get there, just kind of wait. You see, here's a look at some of their menu items. This is a recently revamped menu. I think they recently did this maybe a month or so ago before we came here. So late summer of 2024, it did change. They have great drinks, all themed, within sort of the Indiana Jones universe, which is really cool. And then here they had this other menu of some seasonal stuff. And we do try some of these items. And in fact, you see here, I ordered the Creepy Mudslide. It's Kahlua, Tito's Vodka, Bailey's Irish Cream, and it had a vanilla base to it, chocolate syrup on the glass, garnished with whipped cream and gummy candies. Mars got the Pumpkin Patch Old Fashioned, Maker's Mark Bourbon, simple syrup, pumpkin spice, bitters, and an ice sphere. We also tried the new Minecart meatballs. It's pork and beef meatballs, sweet and sour barbecue, and chimichurri on potato hay. Those cool little crunchy potato things. And then, here's a look at the inside. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. These were delicious, by the way. Super, super tender. The recipe they have for these is fantastic. Now, the other thing we ordered were air tours, bacon, and waffles. And it comes on this cool stand. As you can see, it looks like a aeroplane. And I guess my view here is not so great, but the bacon, delicious. It's candied bacon hanging from the little stringer there. A couple of house-made waffles, and then in that syringe is honey balsamic syrup. Now, this whole thing just looked wild. We weren't sure what to think of it, to be honest, when he brought it to the table. But let me tell you something. When we dug into this thing, it is terrific. Definitely kind of a surprise. And here you can see the honey balsamic. So just, it's this consistency of normal balsamic there. But not quite as thick as syrup. And we kind of describe the sweetness here in a moment, but basically the sweetness comes from the bacon, whereas normally, traditionally you would think it comes from the syrup. So kind of a little switcheroo there, but this thing was terrific. Good balance of kind of a spice and sweet, and just terrific. It's on the menu. It's labeled as spiced candied bacon, chorizo waffles, and honey balsamic syrup. We would definitely try this again. Hope this one stays on the menu because I think it's gonna be a hit.
I see.
Yeah, I think it's the balsamic. It's good though, right? It's different.
It's so weird. Because you're thinking the waffle's gonna give you the honey stuff, like the sweetness, but the sweetness is coming from the bacon.
Yeah, candied bacon.
Yeah, but the waffle and the sauce are kind of spicy.
Yeah, it's
I
good.
like it though.
Yeah.
Like almost if the bacon was like chopped up and just put on top, that would be nice.
Maybe. Yeah.
I would eat these waffles again.
Yeah, I think so too. I thought they were good.
That is spicy.
Another item that I ended up getting was the Sunshine Stroll Orange Pilsner. And this is a Florida brew. As I've mentioned before, I do enjoy trying any products really that are made here in Florida. So I thought this one was cool, and it's got a great color to it, and shining there as the sunset goes down. I mean, just picturesque actually, and it tasted great. And then this is us strolling through Disney Springs a bit. So they have a lot of the live entertainment out right now. And this includes these kind of street performers on stilts. They interact with the guests, and they just have different things to say. They'll point out costumes and different things. And then they have this lady, and I think they have a guy too. But this lady was rolling around in this cool little like jack-o'-lantern little cart thing. She doesn't control it. Someone's controlling it nearby. You just don't know who it is, I guess, but it looks neat. Is the point is she just kind of floats around. She kind of heckles some of the guests. She has jokes, just different things, but it really adds to the atmosphere and something kind of fun just to have and for the season. I filmed these guys because it kind of reminded me of the old Disney stores. I kind of miss those when they used to have all the characters. But then we go into the Spice and Tea Exchange. Now, if you've never been here, this place, wow. I mean, if you like tea, this is the place for you. Ironically, I don't really like tea. Prefer not to have it, but Mars loves it, and a lot of our family and friends like it. So it really is a great place for gifts and other things. And again, they just have such a wide selection, and it's not just tea. They have spices and other things here, so you can cook and do things. So it's a good wide range of stuff. It's very versatile, I think, because they have sugars, they have spices, they have stuff for drinks, stuff for food. It's really quite nice. And they do, if I recall, they have like some stuff that's gluten free, stuff that's sugar free, and this and that. So again, you can kind of tailor it to whatever your dietary needs are. Here's a look at some of the spices now. They also have a tea station in here, so you can order, I believe, both cold and hot tea, whichever they're brewing for the day, and I do think it changes. So again, if you're gonna wander around Disney Springs, especially right now, it's we're going into our winter months, and believe it or not, it actually does get cool here in Florida. There are some days where it can get down into the 40s, sometimes even 30s, during the day. So you may want a hot beverage to kind of have in your hands and warm up as you meander through Disney Springs. Let's see, here's a section of sugars, right? All kinds of different stuff. They have monk fruit sugar. They have, I think, real sugar. They have all kinds of different stuff. So, if you have, again, dietary needs, but you still want a sweetener to your tea or coffee, check this stuff out. And they may have exactly what you need. I know that can be tough if you're on either maybe you're trying to diet, or maybe your doctor tells you have to have certain things or avoid certain things. It can be really challenging. And of course, you still want to enjoy the food that you're eating. Places like this definitely can help out. So don't give up if you've recently been put on a diet. Maybe check out this place, and they could have what you need. You can see they also have containers and cookware and different things here. Like I said, I don't do a lot of teas, unfortunately. Oh, I like these cans. They remind me of the old oil cans from back in the day. And of course, it's olive oil inside, which is clever. Here's a great look at the stage right outside the World of Disney store as the sun's setting. It's just gorgeous. My camera does a pretty good job of picking it up, but it's nothing like it here in Florida. The sunsets are fantastic. But then here at Disney Springs, with all the lights turning on and just the atmosphere and the crowd, you get the kind of energy of the people and then the live music. It is a great atmosphere. Certainly a great place to come and have a drink. And if I haven't mentioned before, Disney Springs, free parking. You don't actually have to pay. And now we're over here at Amorette's, and there's some of their seasonal treats here. And Amorette's fantastic patisserie is what it is. And they always have just great baked goods. Here's just a little bit look inside. The main kitchen's upstairs, but they do make some stuff down here. As you can see, these folks working away. These are the Jack Skellington kind of like eclair things that they're working on here, which is really cool. And they make all kinds of stuff here. You see, he takes the torch. It's gonna change the fabric of that frosting just a little bit, and then he puts the Oreo, and then it gets topped off with a candy piece for Jack Skellington that you can see here. and they have these mini cakes, and you can see how decorative they are. I mean, there's a lot of detail in that Madame Leota table. They also have full-size cakes. We've never had one of those, but I can only imagine. You definitely need a group. These cakes are terrific. Well, we may not have tried every single one, but we've tried enough to know that they're delicious, but they're rich. So that's exactly why they're miniature. But here's another look at the Minnie Mouse one. It's the seasonal. And it's $9, but easily shareable. Again, I know it's miniature, and you may look at that and think, oh, I'll eat 3 or 4 of those things, and maybe you would, but I'm telling you, from my perspective, my opinion, you don't want to do that. In fact, if you ate the whole one of a miniature, you're gonna be quite stuffed. It's just very, very rich. And so for Mars and I, we often split them, and it's just fine. You get a great tasting of it. You get all the flavor. And here you can see they're working on a full-size cake. We did buy the Minnie Mouse seasonal one. Our bow fell over, though, so I had to put it back up, in case you're wondering why it was messed up. But there's a little bit of it here, and then you see the inside. So again, the ganache and stuff inside, super, super rich, but so sweet and creamy, very light. A nice mixture with whatever the kind of gelatin is on the outside. And then this is just fondant, really, and then a chocolate piece for the ear. And then as we head out, here's a look at Downtown Disney, some of the stuff they have just as decoration. And then I just kind of filmed this part. I like sitting under here. It's very nice, and a lot of shops in here. And I think this part gets overlooked, to be honest, but I love this brick building here at Disney Springs, kind of on the south side by the buses. And that was our trip to Disney Springs. This was just one of those. It was actually a very impromptu thing. I was already driving home from work, and Mars was just getting off work. A lot of times she gets off work late, but this time she got off work on time. So she called me up, said, "Hey, where you at?" Told her. She goes, "Oh, can you get to Disney Springs?" And honestly, I was at my last junction. So had she called me maybe a minute later, even, I would have been to a point where you can always turn around, you can always get off and whatever, but it would have been much more difficult. So she called me at just the right time that I could actually just change lanes. The highway splits basically, and instead of me going left towards our house, I went right, and it takes me towards the Disney area and takes me to Disney Springs. So it worked out really well, and this was a great after work kind of date night thing. Jock Lindsey's is a great place. We love going there. As you saw, this turned out to be dinner, by the way. I know it didn't look like a lot of food, but it is a little more filling than it looks. And then the drinks are great. What I would say, in all honesty, I guess we probably could have ordered one more appetizer bit from Jock Lindsey's, and that would have been really more of a full meal. But this was enough. I was satisfied with it. Plus, with the 2 drinks that I had, it was plenty. And then we had desserts from Amorette. So what I'm getting at, though, is you don't have to always spend a lot. The full restaurants at Disney Springs, those are great too, but they can be a lot. They can be a lot of food, and they can be expensive. I mean, you're probably looking at $25, almost $30 a person. And that's not even with a drink, to a lot of the restaurants. I'm talking the full-on restaurant places, Chef Art Smith's Homecoming, Raglan Road, definitely things like Boathouse and Paddle Boat and all that stuff. Definitely you're spending $30 a person. Then if you have a drink and if you have an appetizer, right, it just starts adding up, and you're not walking out of there for under $100. So my point being, and as I mentioned in the video, Disney Springs can be free. If you live here, or if you're visiting, you have a car, or if you're staying on Disney, whatever, you can get here for free. You can park for free. That is not a common thing with Disney, but you can get here for free. You do have to go through a security check. It's fine, no different than the parks. And then, you have all these choices here at Disney Springs. And again, we're recommending Jock Lindsey's. Great place to get a drink. Beautiful views out there. They do have sunshades that they do lower as the sunset gets right down there. So it's not directly in your eyes. It's very comfortable outside. They have fans. In the winter, they do have heaters up above. So I think no matter what time of year you go, it can be a really nice place just to enjoy a drink and have some food. Now, if you do want something more to eat, have a drink at Jock Lindsey's and then hike over to wherever and get your guys' food. And as far as desserts, yeah, Amorette's is probably our go-to for Disney Springs. There's a couple other places to get some really good desserts, but as far as for the price and then the size of what you get, we think Amorette's is good, and they're always changing things. So every time we go, we feel like we have a new selection of stuff, and that keeps it kind of fresh for us. And we usually get a cup of coffee too, so it just kind of works out since they have that there. They do have alcoholic drinks too, which I didn't realize before, but they have champagne and a few things that you can actually get that complement some of the desserts. So that's pretty neat too. So if you're looking for like a nightcap or whatever you may be doing, you have an opportunity for that. So I'm gonna wrap that here. I know this is kind of a different video than we usually do, but thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you again just get a look into kind of how we do things when we go to these places, and maybe it kind of applies to your guys' style, your guys' speed, and something that you enjoy. So thanks again for watching. We appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, please do us that favor and hit subscribe. Then you always know when a new video of ours comes out. And if you enjoyed the content, click that like button. We appreciate it. And until next time, folks, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.